What's up, everybody? This is Rebel, and I want to talk about the Gullah War, and I want to talk about the Emancipation Proclamation, because a lot of us think that we got our freedom from Abraham Lincoln, and Abraham Lincoln felt sorry for us and gave us our freedom. That's not how you got your freedom. And I want to start out by talking about the Gullah War, you know. And if I say black, I'm still talking about melanin people, because sometimes it slip out of my mouth. But anyway, the Gullah War, it started from 1739 and it ended in 1850. No, they were still fighting after 1855. They couldn't be contained. But you gave your own self liberation. Nobody gave you liberation. And how they tell you, you came over here and you was all chained up, and you know, they had you in docile and you was always running. That's not true. This is why you see them right today, and how they kneeling down and they helping you burn down stuff, and you know, because they are afraid, because they see that we are awakening, and it's nothing that they can do, because it's inevitable. It's nothing that they can do. But anyway, let me tell you how you got your freedom, because it needs to be told, and more people need to step up and start talking about, you know, how, you know, our history. Because, and I know it's people out there, but you know, if you have a desire to come out and speak. You know, it's in you to come out and speak, but you know, some keep holding you back because you afraid. You know, a lot of us, whoever can come out and speak, because it's a new era going on. It's a new era. And that's why, you know, the universe is rising us up to speak and to say our truth, because nobody is going to tell us our truth if we don't tell ourselves our truth. You know, and once you know your history, you will understand why they're so afraid of you, because we don't know our history. But let me go back to 1739 when it all happened, the Stono War, the Stono Rebellion. And the Stono Rebellion happened when these settlers tried to come out with the security of it was called the Security Act. And what the Security Act consisted of, it was they needed to be armed, because a lot of melanated people was attacking them. A lot of us, our ancestors, like they tell our ancestors, they tell us that our ancestors was weak and we just gave up the land. That is a lie. That is a lie. The battle is mentally. That's why they dealing with us mentally. Because inside, all of us is warriors. That's why we get out there and somebody say something to us and we'll just go to attacking them. Because that's that warrior spirit that's already in you. But this is why they have to control your streets and your neighborhoods. You know, this is why they have to do that. Because they have to keep you in that fear mode. And they never want you to get out of that, because they know most of us is warriors. So all of them was running around, you know, they was about to pass the Security Act. And this is when the Stono Rebellion happened. And that's when 20 men broke into a gun store in South Carolina. Broke into a gun store in 1739. Stole their guns, killed the gun owner. Went up the street, hollering up the street, saying liberation. What had happened was, they killed the slave owners and burned down all of their houses. Was burning down their house the whole nine. So in 1740, they came out with the Negro Act. When they tell you that when they brought you over here in chains and you was in chains, they lied. Because the Negro Act, it was an act that said melanated people could not move around. Aboriginals of this land could not move around. So what they began to do, they said that the Negro Act, you couldn't move around, you couldn't assemble with other melanated people, you couldn't grow your own food, you couldn't do nothing. You just had to sit there. The same thing they doing right today. Do it ring a bell? Okay. The Stono Act went on from 1739 to 1812. After 1812, then that's when we deal with Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson is on a $20 bill. Andrew Jackson was the 7th president. He became the president in 1929. From 1829 to 1837, he was the president of the United States. He was the 7th president. This is what they say. So Andrew Jackson was a pervert. He was a cruel man. So what had happened, this is why they wanted to take Harriet Tubman and put her on a $20 bill. See, once you start waking up, that's when they start changing. This is how they live their life. They start changing things. So what had happened with Andrew Jackson, this is where the Trail of Tears come in at. The Trail of Tears when they was uprooting you from your land, he the one who signed that contract. The Trail of Tears where you can go and destroy all kind of Aboriginal people and take their land. So in 1814, he destroyed the Native Creek Confederation. He destroyed them and took their land. This is at that time the Spaniards was fighting in Florida for their land. The white settlers, they was fighting in Florida. So the Spaniards supplied the Gullahs, which was melanated people with guns and taught them how to war. So in 1816, the Negro Fort battle where they fought Andrew Jackson, they lost because it was like a fixed battle where it was a place where they battled. The Gullah said, no, we gonna go back to our traditional way of fighting. You know, this is what the Gullah warriors say. So in 1818, the Suwannee Rebellion. Andrew Jackson came back. I guess he was feeling himself. 1,500 of his men, because the Gullahs, the Gullah warriors, the way they fought in the swamps. They fought in the pastures. They fought in the fields. And the white settlers, Andrew Jackson, them didn't know the land like that. So when they tried to come at them, the guerrilla, they was fighting guerrilla warfare where they stick them and they move. So when they was fighting Andrew Jackson them couldn't beat them. So what had happened is Andrew Jackson lost 1,500 men. When he was coming back, the Gullahs went back out to the swamp. The Gullah warriors went back out to the swamp, which is your people, which is Aboriginal people. They went back out to the swamps. Andrew Jackson went to he was going back to, because he lost. And he saw some women and children which belonged to the Gullah warriors. And he killed them all. He killed the women and the children. He considered that a victory. And he went back and said he won because he killed the women and children. And the Suwannee Rebellion, they didn't even post that in the newspaper. And the reason why they did not do it, because they didn't want other white settlers to get afraid. So after 1818, the Suwannee Rebellion, then in 1822, that was the Denmark Vesey conspiracy. And that's when Denmark Vesey, he went and him and 9,000 people. Now remember, Dylan Roof went up in Denmark Vesey Church and he killed 9 people. I find that strange. And 9,000 people was about to kill the slave owners, and they was about to kill the slave owners and destroy them. But it was some melanated people that was in there. It was all melanated people, but it was some melanated people that was there that went back and told the white settlers what Denmark Vesey and the other melanated people what they were about to do. So the white settlers killed up most of them and killed up their leaders. So then in 1935, that was in 1822. That was the Denmark Vesey conspiracy. In 1833 or 1835, that was the Dab massacre. And that's when the Gullah warriors went after they start killing up the slave, the white settlers again. And what had happened is, this war took place by a river, some type of river. It took place by a river. And what had happened was at the Dab massacre, they only let two white people live and go back and tell the other white people what had happened. So when that had happened, after that, when they went back and told them, they kept on fighting. Then in 1855, that's when the Texas Rangers came and tried to fight the Gullah warriors, and they lost. So after 1855, when the Texas Rangers went back to Texas, they told the white elitists, we can't beat them. We cannot beat them. So what Abraham Lincoln did, he went and he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and made it look as though he gave melanated people their freedom. And he did not. They could not contain you in slavery. That's how you got your freedom. It came from the Gullah warriors, which was Aboriginal people in South Carolina, in Florida, in Georgia. Those people kept fighting these white settlers. And this war lasted 100 years. So when they sit up and they tell you that Abraham Lincoln gave you your freedom, Abraham Lincoln didn't give you nothing. Abraham Lincoln tricked you into believing the Civil War was about you. And from my understanding, the Civil War did not take place. The Gullah War is a civil war. That is the Civil War, and you fought for your own liberation and your own freedom because they was trying to put you into slavery and they could not do it. That's how it really happened. I'm going to post it on my page. It's called The Invisible War. They don't tell you about this war. It was Gullah warriors. And what they try to do is the Seminole War, which was a part of the Gullah War. They make it seem as though it was different. It wasn't. All of it is how you got your freedom. The Civil War is the Gullah War. I don't care, melanated people love to barbecue. Melanated people love to cook, and that's all good, but know your history. Because they're lying to you. Abraham Lincoln had nothing. Just like we found out Columbus did not discover America. See, the more we learn, the more they have to change the narrative. And they know who you are because it's pictures of white people, old pictures of white people and Indians together, taking pictures together, so they know who you are. And they know deep down inside you warriors. That's why they have to lie to you. That's why they send you to their schools and lie to you and mess your mind up and make you feel as though you're not nothing. Because they know your true history is scary to them. This is why what they're doing right now, this is why they on TV trying to say unity. Because they didn't ran out of tricks. They can no longer trick you anymore. Because this day and time, everybody is thinking. Everybody is not believing what they say. And it was a time where everybody believed everything they said. We believed it because we thought we was looking at it. Why would these people lie? And I remember Michael Jackson. He got on TV and he said, it was him and it was somebody else, and he said, your whole history is nothing but a lie. After that, they killed him. But when Michael Jackson said that, a lot of us did not understand what he was saying. But your whole history, everything they told you is a lie. That's just like how they try to gloat on George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. Those was indentured servants also. A lot of people don't know that they was indentured servants. They wasn't these, they make it seem as though, they came to America and they sliced up a couple people and we said, all right, take the land. No, they were slaughtering people. And see, that's where the Trail of Tears come from. They were slaughtering Aboriginal people, taking their land. And they was killing them. And we was fighting back. And how they got us, that's just like, my ancestors, most of them is dead. And I'm telling you that, Abraham Lincoln gave you your freedom. If I don't have no facts or nothing like that, you're going to believe that. You're going to believe that. A lot of these white people came over here, they was nothing but indentured servants. I remember I had a book, and the book was saying that old white people, they got out on the field and they died, and it was a couple of them. No, they was indentured servants for a long time. And the way they tell you about slavery, no, we was not in slavery. No, that's not true. That's not true, because we was killing their ass. Some of us was in slavery. They were kidnappers and put in slavery, but for the most part, most of us was not slaves. We were not slaves. This is what they tell you. This is what they tell you, that you was nothing but a slave, but they lied to you. You are a very melanated people in America is a very powerful race. This is why they lie to you and constantly lie to you. Everybody know their truth, but melanated people, now we starting to figure out our truth, but nobody have told us our truth. Now it's melanated people waking up and they putting that truth out there, because you need to know that Abraham Lincoln did not give you your freedom. the Gullah, the Geechees. That's how you got your freedom. You got it from the Gullah warriors, which was Aboriginal people. And we couldn't cipher. That's just like Hollywood. Hollywood is a book, and I'm going to put it on my page. And it talks about how Hollywood, this is why they like for everybody to have a TV. Because Hollywood, if you look at them movies, and you look at them cowboy movies, and you look at how all the time when you see the Indian and the white man, they was the same color. They just put them on a little bit of tanning lotion, but they was the same color. They always want you to believe, and see, that was to make your mind believe that the Indian could never be, the Aboriginal people of America could never be you. It could never be you. And my thing is, okay, you got these Indians on, these so-called Indians on these reservations. Okay, if this your land, why are they paying you all this money? Is that hush money? Why are they paying you all this money to be on that land? They paying you to be on that land, but you're not in control of your own land. This is why, okay, that's just like this election. You got Joe Biden, you got Trump, okay? We know both of them is racist. Trump's grandfather was a wizard. You didn't see Biden holding hands at a parade with a wizard. Biden put all kind of laws to try to stop the black man when he was a senator. Okay? We know this about both of them. Why is it that they concerned with the melanated vote and nobody else? Nobody else. The Arabs come over here, own stores, all kind of stuff. They don't vote. The Chinese people own stores in our community. And both of these people are in our community. They don't vote. They don't do nothing. But they be so concerned about the melanated man voting. It's all about the melanated man and woman voting. Because they have to make sure that you still asleep and you still believe in them. And every time you turn around, and when you read those books, when they say African American, look over that. Don't say I ain't gonna read it because they say African American. When they say that, don't read it, because you take what you can use and the rest of it you throw it away. The reason why they want us to vote and all of this stuff, because what it does is it validates them that it's still working. All this stuff we did to them, they still believe that, we was sent here to help them, and they wasn't. Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation to make you think as though white people gave you slavery. And the sad part about it, Abraham Lincoln was a mulatto. He was a dark-skinned man. He was not a white man like they try to tell you. His mother was a melanated woman. He came from the womb of a melanated woman. You all have a nice day.